It's 2025 and there's so many great games coming out. Yet here I am playing Gears of War Judgment. I'm playing through all the Gears of War games, so I just finished Gears of War 3 and next up I had to play Gears of War Judgment. And if you remember and were around back in the day, you probably consider this to be the worst Gears of War game in the franchise. I know I have up until now replaying it. One of the biggest reasons for that was, back in the day, 2013, multiplayer was huge for all video games. And the multiplayer in Gears of War Judgment was an absolute joke. There were four maps. They changed the controls. It wasn't good. They added, I think it might have ended up being like six maps total by the end after updates, and one of them was Raven Down, which is the smallest Gears of War map. It's pretty much like the shipment of Gears of War. And yeah, when you hear people talk about this game, the most common thing you hear is Overrun was good. That was a good mode, and it was. That was a fun mode. But it's 2025, and you can't play this game online anymore, not for real. And if so, like no one does. So yeah, this is basically just gonna be about the campaign, and I was pleasantly surprised with this. Playing all these games back to back. This is the first time I've ever played the games back to back. I actually think I might have had more fun with Gears of War Judgment than I did with Gears of War 3, and that just tells me just how underrated this game actually is. I remember back in the day, this game's not developed by Epic, it's developed by People Can Fly. And at that time, I was actually really excited because they made a little game called Bulletstorm on the 360, and man, that game was crazy as well. If you haven't played Bulletstorm, you gotta play Bulletstorm. That is just a fun game. And so I was really excited for this one. But yeah, just like many other people at that time, the changing the Gears of War controls were not using the D-pad to change weapons and have to use like the Y button instead. It was really weird, and you couldn't hold four weapons at once. You could only hold two weapons, and the pistol counted as a weapon, so you couldn't have a pistol. Like, it was just bizarre why they did these things. And the multiplayer was an absolute joke, and back then, in the heyday, Gears of War multiplayer was so much fun. And so yeah, I played the campaign once. I probably thought it was dumb back then, especially having the gap between the other games. So I didn't really like follow the story back then. And yeah, that's all it was. The story's not that deep. It's about Baird, which I think is a great choice for a game like this, like a spin-off game, because out of the original three games, he's the character who gets the least amount of characterization. I mean, Gears of War 3, Cole gets his own little solo section at the beginning. Baird never really got anything like that, so it's really it makes sense that he gets a game like this. And if you notice in like the original Gears of War trilogy, he's Private Baird, so this is really the story of how he was a lieutenant and why he got demoted to private, basically going against orders. There's nothing too deep with the story. You have to get a weapon. There's a few components to it to get it to work, and you have to get to the weapon and use it. And that's pretty much it. But as far as the story, I feel like the hidden story in here, again, if maybe you played this game already, you might know this little fact that Marcus Phoenix is actually in the game just over the comms as a voice, so you can hear him towards like the end of the game, his voice before you fire the missile on the main bad guy. Karn is his name. And it's funny because like Marcus is saying that like they need backup, and Loomis or whoever they're saying that it's gonna take an hour for backup to get there, and Marcus is like, we don't have backup. And then Baird fires the missile and hits the Cardinal, who disobeys the orders. He fires the missile, and it doesn't defeat the bad guy, but he hits him with it, and Marcus is pretty much like, we're safe now. So in a way, this is a story of how like Baird saved Marcus when they didn't even know each other. And so I thought that was just a really awesome touch in terms of the story. But I feel like that the characters this game adds, Paddock and Sophia, I think they're better than the characters that Gears of War 3 added. Paddock is actually probably one of the biggest additions to any of the characters added. I know for Gears of War 2, they made such a big deal about Ty and even Dizzy, but like those characters don't do too much. But Paddock in this game, between Gears of War Judgment and Aftermath, Paddock is like this huge character, and I think he even shows up in like Gears of War 5 later. So I'm really looking forward to that on these replays, because too much time has passed. When he showed up in Gears of War 5 when I played it, I like totally forgot about him. So very excited about that. And then Sophia, for all the Gears of War female characters, I thought Sophia was the best one. She's an Onyx Guard, and the Onyx Guard has a huge theme in this game. I think they were first mentioned maybe in Gears of War 3 in some lore. Can't fully remember, or maybe I didn't find the lore on this playthrough. But definitely in Rom's Shadow, there's a lot of talk about the Onyx Guard being deployed, and they're like, oh, the Onyx Guard wouldn't be deployed for just any old reason. So, you have an Onyx Guard cadet, on your team, and just the set pieces. Like you go to the Onyx Guard Training Academy, and you go to a naval base, which is like right by Gears of War 3, where you get the submarine. So I just thought the set pieces in this game too were just way more memorable, way more fun, and felt way more Gears of War than Gears of War 3. And while this game being shorter, I just thought like the whole vibe of it felt a lot Gears of War in terms of the set and setting and all of that. But the one thing I also didn't like back then was how like this pretty much forced arcade mode on you. I didn't like that back in the day because Gears of War I thought was just kind of a serious story, you know, like it was a lot about the storytelling. It was almost like Halo, but with like characters. You know, I guess, you know, Master Chief doesn't talk and have too much characterization. This has like real characters you can relate to. And so when they do something like force arcade mode on you, it just felt way unserious. But playing in 2025 after replaying the first 3 Gears of War games, I thought it really freshened it up, honestly. Like, just because, you know, the first 3 games are just kind of like, you know, you move forward, you kill people, you move forward, you kill people, get to the next checkpoint. But in this one, I went through and did every declassified mission, which just kind of gives a little extra challenge for every combat scenario, whether it's like, you know, a bunch of smoke grenades, or you have to use certain weapons, or there's different enemy types. I thought it just added so much variety and honestly fun. And so like in 2025, when video games are getting very stale almost and formulaic and everything has to be this huge, just cinematic experience and all that, this just felt like an honest to goodness video game. And that's what I loved about it here in 2025. Like this just prioritized fun. It's like, let's say Gears of War, let's make it arcadey, let's make it fun. And I thought that's what it was. I thought that arcade stuff in the declassified was just fun. I didn't love every like how they integrated Horde into the campaign. That kind of felt like filler and just made the game feel shorter, honestly. But yeah, I don't know. I did a lot of things in this game how I wouldn't play the other games. A lot of just like running and gunning and just having fun. And that's really what I thought this game did very well. It also included Aftermath, which was an actual like campaign, kind of like Rom Shadow, but I believe this was on disc day 1. It wasn't like an added DLC later. And I thought Aftermath was wonderful because it takes place in Gears of War 3 after Anvil Gate from Baird and Cole's side, and basically what they do before they rejoin Marcus and, I was going to say Marcus and Dom, but we all know that's not true. Marcus and company and Anya later on. So one of my biggest complaints about Gears of War 3 is the part where you play as the squad as Cole, and you know, as Cole and Baird and Clayton Carmine. I felt just really shoehorned, and it didn't make much sense. You do it once and like that's it, and it felt like filler and the story wasn't progressing or anything. Aftermath is like the missing piece of Gears of War 3, and I think it's great, and I love the idea that they ran into Paddock during that time. Of course, we wouldn't have known who Paddock was back in Gears of War 3, so the execution of this was pretty good. But yeah, Aftermath honestly feels like it's meant to be part of Gears of War 3, like kind of like Gears of War 2's deleted scene. Like it feels like it's Gears of War 3's deleted scene, and definitely a must play. But that's where when I was playing through it, it was like, oh, there's no declassified missions because, you know, in the story, it wouldn't make sense. In the story, they're not on trial, so why would there be any of that declassified stuff, which, you know, had different dialogue and all that? And I just noticed it just felt like not as fun for this game in particular, because then you really start feeling the controls and all that. Yeah, so I thought that was just a wonderful addition to the game. Yeah, Gears of War Judgment in 2025. Yeah, I never thought I'd be saying this. It just felt like this was the worst Gears of War game, but here I am. I honestly thought that I had more fun with this than Gears of War 3, and I think that's why this game is extremely underrated. So yeah, if you're, I don't know, if you're feeling just games are getting stale in 2025, all the modern gaming, and you just want something that feels like a video game, something short and sweet and fun, play the Gears of War games, the original trilogy. Don't skip Judgment. I was pleasantly surprised. Have you played this game recently, or do you remember it? Do you have those same sour memories I did? Has this video made you want to give it a second chance? Because if so, definitely give this one a spin. Yeah, that's all I got to say about Gears of War Judgment. And I think, you know, with Gears of War 3, I was almost feeling a little bit burnt out. I almost didn't play this one. I was like, maybe that's it. I'll just play the original trilogy and then move on to more modern games. There's a lot of Nintendo Switch 2 games and PS5 games I want to play, and they're just the backlog's building because I'm just getting this Gears of War kick right now. But I'm embracing it, and Gears of War Judgment, after that burnout feeling of Gears of War 3, playing through Gears of War Judgment, I had this moment, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to play 4 and 5. Like, I'm having fun. Let's just do it now. And I'm this deep in it. Let's play 4 and 5. So I think I'm gonna play those games next. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you made it this far in the video, hit like and subscribe. That helps so much. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.